So as Charles said, I'm Lee Nunn. I'm head of hospitality for Zennio UK. I'm going to be presenting some data today from a real life hotel trial where we ran some energy consumption trials with rooms with GRMS versus rooms without GRMS. So firstly, just to set a bit of context, so Zennio, as I said, I'm from Zennio UK. We're a subsidiary of Zennio AYT, which is a mother company in Spain. So we're a Spanish manufacturer based in Toledo, where all our manufacturing takes place. So we have global presence, subsidiaries all around the world, new ones opening all the time, just opened North America, for instance. So we actually, as a company, we are a manufacturer of building automation solutions. So we cover a few sectors, those being residential, commercial, and hospitality, or to put them into other terms, smart homes, smart buildings, and smart hotel rooms, with the actual phrase in the hospitality world of guest room management systems. So this is a quick overview of the solution in its entirety. The solution itself is very kind of modular, so it depends on what your motivation is as a hotelier. If it's purely energy cost reductions, then we have a solution there. If it's more to do with that plus guest experience, we also had that. So it's a very modular approach. So we can have, for example, just climate control, or if we wanted to take that up a tad, that could be climate control, do not disturb, make up my room signaling, a bit of mood lighting, and then at the top level, we could have everything included, blind control, window control, and also audio control. We have a nice little device, which is under the banner of BYOD, which is a term I'm sure you're going to be hearing, which is bring your own device. So in this instance, you could be putting Chromecasts on the TV for the guests to be able to stream from their laptop directly. From an audio perspective, we have a little audio system, a couple of speakers. Guest comes into the room, pairs their mobile phone to one of our screens, and they can play their content through the speakers. So, in addition to the room controls, we do a lot of third-party integrations, PMS being one of those. So to date, I think that number is now actually over 120 PMS. Yes, there are actually that amount of PMS systems out there. The reason we integrate with PMS is so we can exchange vital information. Information like sold, unsold status, check-in date, check-out date, guest names, guest language, for example, because all our screens can be configured. So if the guest is French, then they will be presented with the text on the screens in French, same for any language. So there's the PMS integration. We then do integration into guest apps. So, for example, a good example of that is Six Senses in Ibiza, where our room control app is actually embedded into the hotel app. And then we also do further integrations, which is really to enhance the fundamental other operations within the hotel, housekeeping, maintenance, for example. So we also integrate with apps like Hot Source, H Mobile, and this is where we exchange information, do not disturb, make up my room, signaling, and also maintenance elements. Every single device in our systems has what's called a heartbeat, and that is basically the device is telling the system incrementally, hi, I'm okay, everything's groovy, crack on. The moment there is an issue with that device, that would be reported to our system, which could then be further reported to the maintenance staff who will get that information in real time, which obviously enables them to be a bit more proactive with any issues. So, the whole point about guest room management is the room knows when it's occupied and when it's not occupied. And when we can do further integrations with access control systems, we now know who is entering the room, whether it's the guest, whether it's the maintenance, or whether it's the housekeeping staff. So, in the unsold status, the room is unoccupied and the HVAC is set for economy. As soon as the room is sold, it goes into a pre-sold condition, so now the status has gone to standby. And when the guest finally enters the room and the room confirms that the occupancy is there, then the guest is then in total control. And as you'll see that we're not turning the systems on and off, we're moving through the modes of the system, because that is actually more cost effective than turning systems on and off. So to see that in operation, so now with each time that door is opened, the room will start listening for movement. And I don't mean audibly listening, I mean kind of listening for motion. So the moment motion is detected and the room is occupied, as I said, the guest is now in control. Once the guest leaves the room and no motion is detected, the room will then go into unoccupied mode. So, but what happens if there was a second person in the room? This does sometimes happen where you've got maybe somebody's in bed, one person leaves the room, leaves the second person in the room, and the room now is assuming that nobody's there. But the second that person in the bed moves, the room will see that movement and bring the room back to the previous status it was. And it's called a false non-occupancy. And we are working on some other devices, things like CO2 sensors, for example, to maybe be able to improve that even further. And when the room remains empty, then the room is back into standby. Okay, just want to quickly go into humidity, because it's an often overlooked element, especially in the UK, but for some regions it's a big, big issue. Caribbean, for example, comes to mind. So within, I've even had the experience, you walk into a hotel room, you slightly smell foistiness. Well, that is mold, and that mold has been created by humidity. So with this simple algorithm, when humidity is measured to a certain level, once that guest leaves the room, the dehumidification process will start, all done automatically, all without the guest knowing. Okay, so all the room controls are all supported by a central management dashboard where visualization of the real status of the rooms, the remote adjustment of the room parameters. This is where you can set the kind of global temperatures. If you don't want any of your rooms to go above 18 degrees, it's set here. Similarly, if you don't want to go above 21, everything is set here. Also, this is the interface where the do not disturb, make up my room signaling comes from. So there's a cleaning page, so the housekeepers can see in real time which rooms need cleaning and which rooms have requested do not disturb. And similarly, this is also a maintenance page which shows all the green ticks of all the devices working happily away. And as I said, the moment there's any issues with any of those devices, that would be represented by a red cross, which enables the maintenance people to react to that. Okay, here's the case study. Okay, so this is a hotel in Andorra, and during the renovation, we worked with the owner, and they allowed us to leave one of the rooms with the traditional control system they had before we included our GRMS, and that was one of those simple key card systems. You've all seen them, and probably all cheated them. I even checked into a hotel in Barcelona not so long ago, and the receptionist said to me, would you like 2 cards, sir? And I said, what do I want 2 cards for? She went, oh, you can just pop one in to the thing to keep everything going. So not great awareness. So anyway, the first thing that this data showed us was where the energy was being used. And as we kind of, a sneaky suspicion this would be the case, it is the HVAC. So the heating and cooling and ventilation in the rooms is by far the main sapper of energy. Lighting is second. Like a few years ago, if we had maybe 10, 15 years ago, we might have been talking about a guest room which had 1,000, 1,500 watts of halogen lighting. Yes, smart lighting would introduce some energy savings there, but the best thing you can do for lighting is move to LED. The moment you've gone to LED, that is the best cost saving you're going to do. So the lighting becomes more of a nice to have kind of guest experience, mood lighting, rather than energy conservation. So we basically had 2 identical rooms, literally room 311, room next to room 312. We measured the energy consumption of those rooms over a 12-month period. Both those rooms had 80% occupation over that time. And these are the results. So, as I said, room 311 without Zennio, room 312 with Zennio. And over that course of the year, we achieved just shy of 60% saving, which, as you can imagine, is quite a considerable saving. And to put monetary terms on that, I can speak from the UK. So UK hotel rooms on average use 17 to 25 kilowatts of electricity every day, depending on the size. The cost of electricity in the UK, commercial, is about 25 pence per kilowatt. So the savings that this introduces can actually be as much as between 430 and 730 pounds per room. So we can comfortably talk about ROIs. I mean, I've been in the building automation world for 20 odd years and never really been able to speak comfortably about ROIs, but this system, you can see that it does. And most of our clients are achieving full ROIs within 2 years, and from that point on, the system is directly contributing to the bottom line. So, you know, sustainability targets, ESG targets, can all be achieved via guest room management systems. Thanks very much.